You wake up to noise. Your phone buzzes before the sun rises. Notifications, messages, opinions. A world screaming for your attention before your eyes even open. And yet, you feel empty. More connected than ever, but more lost than ever. You scroll past thousands of faces, thousands of moments, and still, you can't find yourself. This is the age of distraction, a battlefield where the weapons are not swords, but screens. Where comfort has become the new cage and silence feels unbearable. We've traded depth for dopamine, reflection for reaction, peace for performance. You live in a time where everyone wants to look strong, but few know how to be strong. Everyone talks about confidence, but no one practices control. We post about mental health, but we feed the very things that destroy it. The ancients fought lions, wars, and famine. You fight doubt, comparison, and the fear of not being enough. And yet, it's the same war. Different enemies, same battlefield, the mind. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But who listens to such wisdom today? Who teaches you to be calm when the world demands reaction? Who reminds you that power is not found in control of others, but in control of yourself? We've forgotten what the ancients knew, that the greatest battles are fought in silence, that true strength is invisible, and that peace is not given, it's earned through self-mastery. This is not just philosophy. It's a code for survival in a chaotic age. Because if you can't master your emotions, your phone will. If you can't control your thoughts, the algorithm will. If you can't discipline your desires, the world will do it for you, and it won't be kind. The modern world rewards reaction. Stoicism teaches response. The modern world praises comfort. Stoicism praises endurance. The modern world tells you to express every feeling. Stoicism teaches you to master them. And that's why Stoicism is not outdated, it's necessary, because the chaos has evolved, but the cure has not changed. Part 1. The Forgotten Philosophy. There was a time when men lived with silence, when reflection was sacred, when life was uncertain, harsh, unpredictable, and yet their souls were calm. They didn't escape their pain through distraction, they faced it through discipline. They didn't post quotes about strength, they lived it. That was the era of Stoicism, a philosophy not born in universities or debates, but in the fire of real suffering. It was born in ancient Greece, forged by a man named Zeno, shipwrecked and left with nothing. He could have drowned in despair. Instead, he turned inward and asked, "What can I still control?" That question became the foundation of Stoicism. Centuries later, it reached Rome, the empire of power, glory, and chaos, and in that chaos stood three men who carried the flame. Seneca, the philosopher of reason; Epictetus, the slave who found freedom through wisdom; and Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled with virtue, not ego. They lived in a world far more brutal than ours, yet they found peace where others broke. They didn't seek escape, they sought endurance. And their message still echoes through time. You cannot control the world. You can only control yourself. Think about that for a moment. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control if life is unfair. You can't control outcomes, losses, or chaos. But you can control how you respond. And that response, that tiny space between impulse and reaction, is where your freedom lives. That's why Stoicism isn't a theory, it's a discipline. It's a daily practice of self-command. It's learning to stay calm in the storm, not because life is easy, but because your mind is trained. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Most of what breaks you is not the event, it's your interpretation of it. You get anxious not because something happened, but because your mind keeps replaying what might happen. You feel rejected not because someone left, but because you attached your worth to their approval. That's why the Stoics trained their minds like warriors trained their bodies. Every day they practiced controlling their perception. Every day they prepared for loss. Every day they asked, what if I lost everything? Could I still stand tall? And that's the question we've forgotten to ask in this age of comfort. We've become fragile because we never prepare for discomfort. We've become anxious because we never face our fears voluntarily. We become reactive because we never train our emotions. We live like leaves in the wind, easily moved, easily broken. But the Stoics were like mountains, still, silent, and unshakable. The modern mind is restless because it's untrained. It chases stimulation but avoids solitude. It wants results but fears discipline. We seek meaning through pleasure, but meaning is not found in pleasure. It's found in pain, endured with purpose. Because the man who can suffer willingly, who can face what he fears and remain calm, becomes untouchable. That's what Stoicism creates, not apathy, but inner armor. Not indifference, but clarity. Not coldness, but control. Imagine walking through chaos, criticism, loss, betrayal, and your heart remains still. Imagine someone insults you and you feel nothing. Not because you're numb, but because you understand. You understand that their words are their problem, not yours. That's power. That's freedom. And that's what the ancients mastered long before you were born. We've replaced that inner strength with external validation. We seek likes instead of virtue. We chase status instead of self-mastery. We measure happiness through comparison, not through gratitude. But the Stoics would tell you none of that will last. The applause fades, the followers disappear, and when the lights go off, you'll meet yourself again, naked, unguarded, untrained. And in that moment, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed more from the world. You needed less from it and more from yourself. Because wisdom is not about adding things, it's about removing everything that weakens your soul. The Stoics didn't say, be perfect. They said, be prepared. Prepare for hardship, betrayal, loss. Not with fear, but with understanding. Because life is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to test you. And every test is a chance to strengthen your mind, not to break it. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote his private thoughts, not for glory, but for discipline. He reminded himself every day that even an emperor could lose control if his mind wasn't trained. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He didn't fear death, he used it as a compass. He didn't chase luxury, he practiced humility. He didn't escape pain, he observed it. And that's the difference between the ancient mind and the modern mind. The ancients sought mastery. The moderns seek escape. They faced reality. We avoid it. They embraced discomfort. We medicate it. They trained their will. We outsource ours to machines. But the truth hasn't changed. No matter how advanced society becomes, the human soul is the same. It still longs for peace. It still fears uncertainty. It still needs discipline. And that's why Stoicism has returned, not as an old idea, but as a necessary weapon for survival in the modern age. Because the storms didn't disappear. They just changed form.
The truth is this: the world will never calm down. The chaos will not end. The noise will not stop. And life will never wait for you to be ready. But you were not born to be comfortable. You were born to be capable. You were born to face storms and walk through them with your head high, your mind steady, your heart unbroken. Every generation faces its own battle. The ancients faced death, famine, war, You face distraction, addiction, self-doubt. Different weapons, same war. And that war is always within. It's not you against the world. It's you against the part of you that wants to quit. It's you against your excuses. It's you against the weakness that whispers, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow is not guaranteed. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each day, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. So stop waiting. Stop wasting your potential on fear and comfort. You don't need a perfect moment. You need discipline. You don't need motivation. You need command of your mind. When the world tests you, remember this. You cannot control what happens, but you can always control how you stand in it. Be the man who walks calmly through the fire. Be the woman who carries silence into chaos. Be the human who chooses virtue when the world chooses vanity. That's what it means to live stoically. Not emotionless, but anchored. Not detached, but unshakable. Not cold, but clear. There will always be storms. There will always be noise. But there will also always be you. Your will, your reason, your spirit. And no one can take that from you unless you hand it over. So stand firm. Train your mind. Discipline your emotions. Detach from what you cannot control. And fight from mastery, not approval. Because in the end, the only true victory is this: to meet every moment, joy or pain, success or loss, with the same calm strength that says, this too is under my control. Starting today, make this vow. Each morning, remind yourself what truly matters. Don't chase comfort, chase character. Each evening, review your day. Ask, did I live with reason or with reaction? When anger rises, breathe and delay your response. Power is in the pause. When fear whispers, move anyway. Courage is not absence of fear, it's command over it. When comfort tempts you, choose effort. Pain refines, ease decays. When doubt appears, remember, no external chaos can destroy a mind that governs itself. Let that be your creed. Let that be your rebellion in an age of weakness. While others scroll, you reflect. While others react, you respond. While others seek pleasure, you seek purpose. Because one day, maybe soon, the noise will fade, the distractions will die, and you will be left alone with your soul. And in that moment, the only question that will matter is this: did you master yourself, or did the world master you? So go. Walk the Stoic path. Speak less. Think deeper. Detach from what drains you. Do what is right, not what is easy. And carry the calm of the ancients into the storm of the modern world. Because the war never ends, but the Stoic never falls.